I'm Brett,
I'm Daniel.
I'm Corey.
and let's talk horror.
It's everything horror genre related. Anything that you want to talk about, that we want to talk about, because it's our show. So get bent if you don't like that. Hey, Brett, what do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about slashers.
I like slashers. What's your favorite slasher, Daniel?
I've always been partial to, Jason.
Me,
But
Oh,
I like
Jason
Mr.
boys,
Voorhees. Yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
boys.
that's what I grew up watching it. That was a Friday night. We're ordering pizza. We're watching Friday the 13th.
Exactly.
And yeah.
Let's go run all three of them. Oh, there's five of them. Oh, there's six of them. Oh, let's run them all and just have a marathon.
Jason was good, but there's only one slasher in my eyes, boys, and that's Michael.
Yeah,
He started it.
agree. They did kind of lift a little bit here and there, but instead of a Shatner mask, cocky mask. Or at least second movie on.
That's true.
First movie is just the potato sack on the head,
Yeah.
which works. I think that's super creepy as well.
Yeah,
But
Mama
first
knows
movie-
best.
First movie, it wasn't even Jason.
Yeah.
That is true.
Spoiler
That's
alert.
his
I don't
mother.
know if I just ruined it for like people that haven't seen a 40-year-old movie yet. But spoiler alert, Jason's not even the first one except for at the very end.
If they haven't watched Friday the 13th, I'm not sure this podcast is for them.
I don't think so either. The horror genre, it goes way, way back. I mean, since cinema was made, like they started doing scary movies. People like being scared. People like sitting around the campfire telling ghost stories and, little hairs on your arm start sticking up and everything. It's what there's something unifying because I think everybody deep down is scared to be scared. Scared to die, scared to get killed, scared of the boogeyman, the monsters. I mean, we use it to scare our little kids and stuff. The boogeyman is going to get you if you don't go to bed. I mean, we all do it because it touches something very, very visceral inside of all of us. And I mean, there's always been horror stories, but then the printed word comes and then you've got novels and all kinds of stuff. Edgar Allan Poe,
Mary Shelley, Bram
Frankenstein.
Stoker.
Yeah. And then the natural progression of that, once celluloid became a thing, was to make movies. And almost immediately, scary movies became a thing. I mean,
Nosferatu.
Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah.
like all of that stuff. And those in themselves are classics. And it just keeps working forward into the classic movie monsters, the Universal Studios, the Frankensteins, the Draculas.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi
Yeah.
and Lon Chaney and, the classics.
Which those are very good, but those were interesting because they had the film code at the time and you couldn't show somebody being killed on film. It had to be implied. So you'd see the guy with the knife and arm would go up and then it would cut away to someone else watching and they'd scream and you just had to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, Psycho, like the shower scene.
Yeah, you don't actually see the stabbing.
Yeah.
You get the stabbing.
And you see the blood swirl, down the drain.
Yeah, but once film code was out, then we get into, the late 60s, early 70s with Romero. And then you go into like Last House on the Left, which
Yes.
arguably could be like the first slasher type movie because it's the first movie I'm aware of that someone's getting cut up with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert again.
That I could think of.
And then 4 years later, enter your dude, Mr. Myers.
Mr. Myers, Mr. John Carpenter.
Tell us your favorite thing about
The favorite thing about Halloween, the original one, it was such a low budget movie, and I think honestly what made it the best is the music. The music made that movie.
Yes.
It really did. Like Lori had her own song.
Yeah.
The theme song whenever Michael was creeping.
Yeah.
Just the whole ambiance of that movie was just freaking amazing. I loved it.
And music does sell movies a lot.
Yeah.
I think some of the most interesting horror movies, though, conversely, are the quiet movies. Like you watch a scary movie and like it's dead silent. Like there's nothing going on. And you hear footsteps or like the floor creaking and there's no music to tell you how you're supposed to feel. You don't know what's going to happen. One of my favorite movies is one called The Zombie Diaries. I don't know if any of you have seen that.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Super, super quiet. And basically when it pops off, it's this British film crew doing some story out in about some farm or whatever. And then they're in this old farmhouse and all of the power goes out. And all you see is the cameraman's light going through the house trying to find the other people in there. It's dead silent, and all you could see is just that little tunnel of light off of the camera. It works so good because when it finally you get that jump scare, you don't know where it's coming from. There's no music to warn you that it's coming. There's no, oh, the killer's there because you can hear the killer's music. There's none of that. I think that works, but
Oh yeah.
I also agree that the music sells Halloween a lot, just like in
Mm-hmm.
Jason.
Music sells it, and then the simplicity of you remember the scene when they go to the nut house
Uh-huh.
and they're in the car. Well, if you look real close at the guy's hand, whenever they bust a window out, they just painted a wrench. They painted a wrench to bust the window because they're trying to bust the window and make the effect of someone trying to get into the car, Michael trying to get in the car and take it. If you look real close at that scene, you can see there's a painted wrench. What they
So you
used
know
to
when to
do.
plug in the sound effects later on.
Yeah. Well, no, they just busted. They actually busted the window. They really did bust the window, but they wanted to find the best way to do it, and they made it look like it was just his hand. So they painted the wrench skin color.
I got you. So they actually
Yeah.
put a wrench.
Yeah,
Just
this-
an
Yeah.
actual physical.
There's an
wrench.
actual wrench, and they just painted it skin color,
Got
and they actually broke the window. So like the little effects they did like that made the movie just epic in my eyes. That's one of the first ones I watched when I was little, and it scared the shit out of me. Halloween scared the shit out of me.
What about you, Dan? What any favorite scary movies?
Well, like I said, I've always been a fan of the Friday the 13th. They'll hold a place for me. Nightmare on Elm Streets. I anxiously waited to see those.
First one that talked,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you had these silent killers that were the embodiment of evil, but
Oh.
Freddy had personality.
yeah.
Freddy
It wasn't hard
Thompson.
that Jason had personality, just with his breathing and his stares and stuff. But like the first one to communicate with the audience.
It's Freddy, bitch.
Get your big break. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Freddy's
was
amazing.
to me, that was what I loved, the interaction. Freddy, he's talking shit to him as he's killing him.
Right.
It's not just like
The slasher genre, I think is kind of unique because there is a built-in element of humor, whether it's intended or unintended. Like I giggle when I see a kill scene in a slasher movie. I giggle. I think it's hilarious. Like I think more like a possession and like ghost and type suspenseful type horror is more of like scary, like viscerally scary, but like some silent guy in a mask stabbing dumb teenagers. There's something hilarious to me personally about that.
Right.
I giggle and my wife gets pretty upset because I watch horror movies all the time and let my kids watch horror and she's like, that's just so bad. I think it's hilarious. A
Yeah,
good kill
it is.
scene and I'm cackling.
I watched it when I was little too, so I don't think it's hurting anything.
I turned out okay.
Yeah, I've not been arrested for murder yet, so guess I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I did qualify it.
Every Tuesday and Friday was Blockbuster. Go rent some movies.
I mean, even taking it back to like Sammy Terry.
Oh yeah.
Like on Friday nights,
Oh, yeah.
Channel 4. Like I could not wait. And they were always
Oh.
the worst horror movies, just low budget, terrible.
Yeah, when I was young, my dad worked nights a lot, or worked second shift, so he'd be getting home as it was coming on, and we'd be staying up waiting for him to get there with a big thing of popcorn and watching Sammy Terry, waiting on dad.
We had the greatest laugh. He'd have the greatest laugh. Sammy Terry used to scare the crap out of me when I was a kid. But more so than the movies, because the movies were stupid.
Oh, yeah.
The two-headed man,
Yeah,
giant tarantulas from Mars or whatever it was.
them,
Yeah, some super low budget, terrible horror movie, but he sold it with his what was it? What was the spider?
The spider.
Fred? Was it Fred?
something like that. Yeah,
Sammy Terry. You guys remember Joe Bob? Joe Bob Biggums?
Oh yeah. That's a little bit after. But I do
Yeah, he's
remember.
way after. He's like 90s, but I think he's still doing something actually.
He is still doing stuff out there.
Him and Darcy the Mail Girl.
Yeah. The chick that was on that show too. That was what USA. Was that
Elvira
USA?
2.0.
Was that USA that one?
I think it was USA or TNT.
It might have been
TNT.
TNT.
Yeah.
It might have been TNT.
Monster
Are you going
something.
to fact check this for us, Kristen?
What am I fact checking?
Oh, she's not even paying.
Yeah,
She's
she's sleeping.
Message involved.
Producer extraordinaire.
Networking.
Yeah, we have our producer extraordinaire, Kristen, here with us on the podcast today.
Totally not paying attention.
We are actually doing the haunted house at Indy's historic Hannah House, and she's been taking care of everything for us on the social media end and doing all of the web designs. So shout out, Kristen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And for anyone who's not aware, but since this is our first episode, you're not. We are Let's Talk Horror, and guess what we do here by the name? I'll give you a hint. It's right in the name. We are actually in the middle of a build of our very first haunted house at the Hannah House. So big shout out to Hannah House,
Thank you, Hannah House.
allowing us to come and share our passion with your passion and hopefully do something good here for the community. And when I say community, I mean community at large, because horror movies and horror fans get kind of a bad rap. But if you've ever been to a Days of the Dead or Horror Hound or Zombie Walk, there's families, there's little kids, there's grandmas, there's a whole bunch of people who are there because they love the same thing. And yeah, it might be violence and stabbing and scary, but like the essence of it is it is a community. And it's all because these people feel the same way.
I agree. And I also heard you say Days of the Dead. We will actually be there. What's the dates on that?
July 5th, 6th, and 7th, I believe is what it is.
So come on out and see our booth. Give us a shout if you want to be a volunteer, maybe a scare actor. We all know you want to let out that inner psycho. Come on and let it out.
And that's at haunting@thehannahhouse.com if you would like to sign up to do any of that.
Yes.
Shameless plug.
No, there are no shame.
There are no shameless
That
plugs.
all plugs are here, and we're going to just lay it out, put it right on the table, let y'all take a long look at it.
It's going to be a blast. It really is. Very excited.
Hopefully, we'll be able to score some interviews with some of the people that will be there, but that's yet to be told. We got a couple weeks, but we'll figure it out.
Should be a good time.
Definitely going to be a good time.
Do you think the slasher genre overall dominates the horror industry, or do you think it's more of just a niche market?
I would say, yeah, it definitely.
As far as
dominates.
pop
At least the
culture.
merchandise, definitely. Because look at the mask collectors out there. I mean, I like good slashers and I collect their masks. I mean, how many different Michael Myers masks? I think they changed them all in every movie a little bit. So they're all different variations. Then you get to Halloween 4 and 5, and they don't look anything like the movie cover does. And then you get some people upset about it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I hated the Halloween 4 mask in that movie. I absolutely hated Halloween 4 mask. And I'm on record saying that now for the whole internet to hear. But shout out Danielle Harris. We still love you.
Yes.
But that fucking Michael mask was horrible. But Rob, I think Rob Zombies were probably my favorite. Rob Zombie.
I like the remake. I like the first one. The second one
No.
got a little too far out there. I was like,
I'm not talking about the film. I'm talking about just the masks.
No.
The second fucking Halloween was horrible. It was shit.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I just rewatched
I
the first
love
one
her.
last week.
I did too, actually.
Let's throw Sherry in another one. Come on now. Let's throw her out there.
Yeah.
Sherry's awesome, but fuck. I mean, she died in the first one, so let's not bring her back in the next one.
Well, just because you're married to her doesn't mean you have to put her in every single movie you've ever.
Yeah. Also,
He doesn't have to, but I don't complain when he does.
I mean,
I'm with Daniel. on
we don't
that.
complain, but I mean, fuck. It's Halloween. You should, Sherry. You should just.
I feel
Step
that
back on that
though
one.
Halloween
We love
2
you.
had a better production
I agree.
overall.
While we're talking about Halloween, let's go into the 2018 remakes. You guys know Danny McBride?
Yeah.
Fucking Danny
Any
McBride.
fucking powers.
Kenny fucking Powers. We fucking love that guy, and that's one of my favorite comedy series. I'm on record saying that. Danny McBride, we fucking love you. The first two were awesome. Fucking ends was shit.
Yeah.
Michael Myers was a beat up old fucking man and wasn't the boogeyman anymore. So I think they lost it there. But 2018 was fucking amazing. I loved it. It was great. Kills was fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Shout out Craig Nelson, the guy who stunted for the Michael in those, because he fucking killed it. But the fucking script on ends was horrible. And I heard there was like an alternate ending where it was supposed to pay like homage to Halloween 3 with the Season of the Witch with the masks, but they cut it out because it didn't test well.
You know, I
That
see that.
that one probably did fucking better than Michael getting thrown in a meat grinder. I mean, at least let him take fucking Jamie with him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about the Halloween films in particular, what's your take on Season of the Witch? Halloween 3.
When I was little, I hated it, but as I'm older, I kind of dig it.
Agreed. Because originally the Halloween films were supposed to be an anthology series, and each one was going to be a different story. But Hollywood, being Hollywood, saw a cash cow, and they're like, "We got to make a second one of these the same
No.
immediately."
Fuck
So
yeah.
the third one was when they finally got a chance to go back to the original concept and tell a different story. But there are Easter eggs in that movie. The Mask Company, basically, the plot is
Shamrock.
you put on these masks, and the mask drives the kids crazy, and the kids become killers. If you look in the original movie, the clown mask that kid Jason puts on is made by that company. So when he puts the mask on,
Michael.
then Michael, when he's a kid, puts the mask on in the first movie.
Got it right there, sir.
Yeah, that is what drives him into the crazy
No
killer. But
shit.
you don't understand that until you watch the third one. And the third one, everyone's like, "But there's no Michael Myers in it." No, there's not Michael Myers, but it explains how Michael Myers became a sweet little boy to, a knife-wielding maniac that just kills people. So it does fall in there. As a kid, I hated it because no Michael Myers. This is a Halloween movie. There's no Michael Myers in it. I was pissed, and everybody else was too. That's why everybody hates that one.
Yeah.
But if you understand, if you understand that mask company that drove the kids crazy was the reason for the first one, it explains it all.
It's a fucking cult classic now. Everyone loves it. Like, you see a lot of merch with the Season of the Witch 3 masks.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, I wish they would have thrown a little homage to it at the end. That would probably been fire, in my opinion.
Or they should maybe revisit if they're going to do remakes. Like the first Rob Zombie remake, where it went real deep into the Michael Myers as a kid, being in the insane asylum and stuff. Had they touched on that, that would have been really cool for them to explain that finally.
Kristen, I got something I want you to fact check, actually. They're doing a TV series on Halloween. I'm not sure who's making it, but I know it's not Blumhouse. Blumhouse doesn't have anything to do with it anymore. But I grew up a fucking 90s kid. Myers was my favorite slasher, but after Myers, come on now. 90s. What was the 90s? What was the slasher of the 90s, guys? Fucking Ghostface. Ghostface was the fucking 90s. That was one of Wes's other fucking greater movies. Arguably, some people think it's better than Freddy.
I don't know about that.
Some people do.
Yeah. I mean, I love
there
them.
There are fans out there that do. I like Freddy better because he had a personality. But I watch Scream every fucking Halloween. My kids fucking love Scream. All of them.
One of my facts. Miramax.
Miramax is doing it. And how many episodes in this are they creating? It just says a TV series.
So they did a Friday the 13th TV series, and it had nothing to do with Jason.
Yeah, with possessed artifacts. Yeah, and there's now one coming for Crystal Lake as well. It's like a prequel series about the lake and things happening there prior to Jason, or his mom,
or his mom.
Yeah,
they take a fucking great IP and just fucking shit on it. I hate that.
Well, once it becomes money. Once it becomes a marketable product, it starts to lose its integrity. Like, my favorite horror movie of all time is the original Night of the Living Dead.
That's a great one.
I mean, that was
George is the GOAT.
A bunch of college kids, getting credit cards now that they're a brand new thing and maxing them out, renting out this little farmhouse, living there for 3-4 months, and just coming up with whatever. And at the time, it was so controversial because this is at the height of the civil rights movement. Like, this is right after the Kennedys have been killed, and Martin Luther King was killed that same year. There's a lot of civil unrest, and for them to cast a black man as the lead role, who then smacks a white woman in the middle of it, that was hugely controversial for the context of the time. And at the very, very, very end of the movie, when they're coming through and clearing all the zombies, they see the main character looking out a window, and they just pop him in the head. Not because they think he's a zombie, but because of what he looks like. And that was very controversial at the time, and it was a big social commentary. And it basically was just a little project that a bunch of friends from film school got together and did. And they didn't even bother to secure the rights on it. So it went into public domain like a few years later. And to this day, you can quote it, you can screen it, you can show it, you can use the music in it. It is a free horror movie for anybody.
So George didn't have anything to do with that?
No, George wrote it.
No.
And George put it all together. But it was him and a bunch of his friends who made the entirety.
So it wasn't just George.
No, he wrote it, came up with the concept, but he had his friends were actors and the people that shot it and run cameras, run sound. There's a lot of moving parts on a movie set. He didn't do it top to body. He wasn't Spike Lee and that stuff, like every role of it. But he was the creative
driving force
behind that. Yeah, because up until then, they're not even referred to as zombies. Like in the Romero canon, you can't say or use the word zombie. They were ghouls. In the script, it was wrote ghouls. They never used the word zombies because up until that movie, zombies were just like mindless drones. Like if you go back and look at like White Zombie and stuff with Bela Lugosi and everything back in the day, they were just, some voodoo spell was put over them and they were like your slaves and they just walked around. This is the first time that like dead people pulled themselves up out of the ground and ate you.
Oh yeah.
Like that, he changed the game with that. And it's free for anybody to use. And that totally turned when we say zombies, we think of George Romero and what he put.
Definitely.
Like that's my absolute favorite horror movie. I watch that every single Halloween. All of my kids watch it. They can quote every
I love Return. I love Return.
I love Return too.
I love Return.
Return is a completely
They dropped that barrel.
Yeah. I love Return. I mean, for so many reasons. The little half dog that's split in half, and the naked guy in the freezer comes back to life.
There's so many fucking.
There's so many great parts. And get the camera over here. She's taking her clothes off again. It's one of the greatest. Oh, they start pawing at me and ripping my clothes off. They're like, hey, get the camera over here. She's taking her clothes off again. Yeah, Return is a good one. Return is a real good. Send more cops when they're sitting there eating all the cops and everything.
That's hilarious.
That's a very, very good one.
Romero was the king until what is that guy's name? What's the guy's name that wrote The Walking Dead?
The Walking Greg Nicotero.
Nicotero. No, Nicotero does
he did the special
FX.
effects. Yeah.
Robert something's. I can't think of it. But anyways, Walking Dead, man. It's a fucking masterpiece.
The first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
They kind of got too off on when they brought in a whole other half of the cast out of nowhere, and it kind of got too convoluted for me, and I stopped watching. But like the first 3 seasons, I really.
Robert Kirkman. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I love The Walking Dead. The very first scene when he just popped that little girl right out of the hospital and he just had to. She's carrying that little teddy bear. You knew it was going to be fucking crazy.
Kid zombies.
Kid zombies are the creepiest.
If you're a parent and you've been using the restroom and you see those little fingers peeking out from under the door, kids can be creepy.
Oh,
and if there's zombies, even creepier.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I think I lost interest in that show when they killed Coral.
Yeah. Well, Greg Nicotero left, and a lot of the people that had started that series left around season 3, and it was noticeable for me. I just kind of lost interest. I was a faithful watcher of it, and then I just stopped caring.
I think he's back on Daryl's show. Daryl's got his own spin-off.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a second season of that coming. I think they're getting a second season of the Maggie and Negan one as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Are they still doing the survival? Is that still a thing? The survival of the dead?
I don't know.
I think that one's going.
Did it bomb?
Yeah.
I think it might have bombed.
I just think they got spread too thin on it.
They did.
Once again, it became a marketable thing.
Fear was good. I enjoyed Fear.
Yeah, Fear was good.
At one point, I liked it
for
better.
Years. Yeah. I kind of, the end of that kind of lost me as well.
Yeah. They fucking brought Madison back and got rid of everyone else.
Yeah.
Should make much sense. That's showbiz, I guess.
So what's your least favorite scary?
Oh, my least
most
favorite.
Overrated.
Most overrated.
Oh, hold on. Let's what's your least favorite of your favorite? Like you're big on Halloween. What's the Halloween movie that you don't like?
The one that just disappointed you and was like, no.
The original Friday the 13th was a disappointment.
No, I'm talking about like for
Oh, of Halloween?
of the Halloween series.
Rob Zombie Halloween 2 was the worst.
Yeah.
Besides Ends. Besides Ends.
But what about the original series? Because when it comes into remakes, we're getting into another thing. It's like
the original, I mean, I think John Carpenter only did 2 of them. The first 2. I think is the only ones he had anything to do with. But, I mean, 4 was shit. The Mask was shit. That just didn't make the movie as scary. I think they changed it in 5, obviously. They changed it in 6. The one with Paul Rudd wasn't bad.
No, that one wasn't bad.
That one wasn't too bad. I think that was 6. He played Tommy Doyle.
In the Jason movies, I gotta say, New Beginning, number 5.
I know. Jason Goes to Space.
The fake Jason.
Yeah.
at least it's Jason, and with the exception of 1, 2, 3, 4,
And the rest of it's Jason. But in this one, it's some other dude with the blue stripes on the hockey mask, and it's not Jason. It's a little copycat thing, and it just kind of takes it away. And when it comes to the Jason ones, I would say after that,
probably the remake, and it kind of felt like a Cliff Notes version. Because
Like
if you
Jason
haven't
Goes
ever
to
seen
Manhattan.
Yeah.
if you haven't ever, like, for some
Where he
reason, now,
smashes that boombox in the middle of the street.
well, now all of a sudden Jason's a pot farmer apparently because he's killing kids because they're stumbling on a pot
Oh,
farm.
yeah, I remember that one.
And then like they kill him like 13 times, like one for each of the movie. And it's like in one movie, it's like like if you've never seen a Friday the 13th movie and then you watch that one, oh, now you're an expert because they got you all up to speed. I didn't really care.
The Cliff Notes.
What about
It's
the
a quick
space
little
one?
version.
The space Jason.
Yeah, that's the Jason X.
Jason X.
Although one of the best kill scenes ever, when he takes the scientist when he first wakes up and freezes her face in liquid nitrogen and then smashes
Smashes her.
and shatters it on the desk. One of the best kill scenes.
Hands down of any slasher movie. For real, he froze her face.
Frozen was pretty good, but I can think of a very, very, very graphic scene. And that's going to go to Art the Clown and Terrifier, the original. And we all, the upside down. Yep.
Yeah.
That's like fucking, I was like,
Talk about an axe wound.
he's just sitting there looking at their friend. He looks at her while he's doing it.
Art is good. Art is good.
Art is fucking creepy.
I'd say for the more modern slasher, I'd say Art's killing it right now.
Yeah, he is killing it, but some of it I'm like, yeah, it's taking it a little far. And the new one, I was like, yeah,
You got to keep shocking people.
I think they push it a little bit in the second one. There's a few scenes I think they're pushing it a little bit, but apparently the next one is supposed to be worse, and it's at Christmas time, so I can only imagine what it's going to be.
Got to keep up in it.
Yeah, they said someone said they couldn't hold down their food or something while they filmed it.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I made a mistake earlier because we skipped right over to like Last House on the Left where I was talking about people with chainsaws. That was 74, I believe. I believe Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out the year before in 73. I could be wrong.
Fact check that, Kristen. What year did Texas Chainsaw Massacre
I
come
think
out?
it was 73. So really, if you want to go to the goat of slashers, you got to go Leatherface. Really?
But there was more people than just Leatherface.
There
The
was.
family was getting down in that.
But he was the star.
74,
74.
October
so-
11th.
Okay, check Last House on the Left. Maybe Last House on the Left was 73. I think it was 73 and 74, but that's like where horror movies kind of moved into the slasher phase of things.
But like as in like the dominance at the box office, Halloween killed it.
72. Okay, Last
72?
House on the Left was
Okay.
72.
You're right, sir.
And then 2 years later, we got Leatherface and Company. And then
Significant
4
movie.
years after that, Michael Meyer. And then 2 years after that, we get Jason.
When did Exorcist come into play there? Exorcist was in between those, and that was huge.
But that's not a
Slasher
Not
movie.
slasher at all, but it was right in between those.
I think that was 82.
Was it 82?
I want to say.
Okay. It's definitely not slasher related, but it fucking tore the box office up.
But we
People
can
were
have
scared to see it.
And see, that's the beauty of horror and a horror podcast is that we can go genre by genre. Like there's the horror genre, but there's all these different subgenres, like whether it's possession movies, ghost movies, torture
Yeah.
porn, psychological thrillers, serial killers, true crime. Like there's all these different layers to it. We could spend an episode on each.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking definitely.
Yeah, Exorcist was 73.
Okay.
70.
73 seasons.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
it was-
72, 73, 74. That's where horror
Yeah.
movies really kind of made a shift into the mainstream.
those are like some of the biggest ones, like the band everyone would want to do it. Yeah. Want to watch it. Even the people that didn't like horror movies before, they would love them now because they like those.
Well, that's when Scream Queens became a thing. I
Yeah.
mean, the first one arguably is Janet Leigh from Psycho.
Yeah.
She's the first one to
Yeah.
while
Oh,
she's
yeah.
getting stabbed in the shower and everything else. So, I mean, she's probably the OG on Scream Queen.
Yeah, 1960 for
Yes.
Psycho.
Fucking hilarious that her daughter does Halloween all them years later.
Yeah.
That
Deep
is
in the family.
hilarious. But I do like Myers and Scream were probably my best. Scream was fucking awesome because it could be anyone. It could be one of us sitting in the room right now.
Yeah.
Or two of us.
Or two of us. Usually is.
And I can't believe we haven't mentioned this particular slasher in all of this. My man Charles Lee Ray.
Oh yeah.
Chuck.
Chucky.
Okay.
I love Chucky. I remember going to the movie theater with my dad and seeing Child's Play when it first came out. I believe 7.
Oh
I
shit.
believe it was. I remember going. I was 9 years old. I was about the same age as Andy. And the thing was at that time there were these dolls called My Buddy dolls.
Mhm.
My Buddy and Kid Sister. Kid Sister was the girl version, and My Buddy was the boy version. And they were these like 2.5 foot tall dolls that were about the size of a small child. And they had my buddy,
Yeah.
wherever I go, you're gonna go, my buddy. And they had a kid sister, and they had all these little commercials and shit.
Hilarious.
Uh-huh.
And right when all of that was like real in the mainstream, we have a horror movie come out about one of those dolls being alive, which really is just a retelling of a Twilight Zone episode.
Oh yeah.
Where the doll came up for life. But that's
Yeah. I mean, God, there's Twilight Zone had so many great
Zone is
episodes that led to.
awesome. The Twilight Zone like really broke the mold in television and movies. I mean, there's so many movies that have been made based off of Twilight Zone episodes that people don't even realize.
Yeah.
It is true.
What was the one with the dummy? There was a film series with the ventriloquist. I can't think of it right now. There was a whole film series with a ventriloquist that was based off of a Rod Serling story from
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. Like, there's so many.
Snappy from Goosebumps. That was
Well,
way later.
Even that.
Yeah.
But even that,
Yeah.
all of that goes
Comes from there.
Yeah.
because I think it was 59 when Twilight Zone came out,
Something like that.
and that was on regular network television.
Yeah, I remember.
3 channels, and to this
Watch
day,
the
go back and
reruns.
watch it.
Yeah.
To this
Oh,
day, go back
yeah.
and watch it. It's
Yeah.
still
Every
is.
year they do a marathon where they play like all of them, like in a weekend, they just keep playing them. It was on for years. And
I was a 90s kid, though, so you know what I had. Tales from the fucking
Crypt.
Crypt,
Tales from
man.
the Crypt.
Yes.
Yes,
Crypt
that
Keeper.
was a great one. The Crypt Keeper
Yeah.
was awesome. Awesome.
yes.
I fucking love the Crypt Keeper.
Yep.
And I really anthologies in general. Just anytime you could tune in, it's the same kind of framing, but like here's another story. It goes back to the whole ghost story thing. Like when we started the whole podcast, like people like to be scared. People like to hear scary stories. It's going to keep them guessing, keep them up at night, have them think about stuff.
Well, hey, we're talking about scary stories. Where's the scariest experience you've had in the state of Indiana?
Scary experience.
Scary experience.
Like other than like day-to-day general life.
No,
like
not
pressures of
general life pressures. We're talking about paranormal. You believe in ghosts?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely something out there beyond us and other realms that we probably aren't supposed to be tied into, but we are on some level. Animals sense it, children sense it. Like kids are more adapt to picking up on that stuff because I think as adults we unlearn that because I think we come from a place of that alter.
Area originally, and then we're born into these mortal bodies, and the older we get, the more separated we are from it and get wrapped up in what's going on now. But yeah, me personally, I can't really say any place that really like upset me or creep me out. I'd say Black Moon Manor, we had quite a lot of.
Yeah.
There were quite a lot of things that went on. Specifically, the one that pops out for me is when we were doing an investigation at a place that no longer exists called Black Moon Manor out in
Greenfield? It was Greenfield, wasn't it? Yeah.
Greenfield or New Pal?
It was Greenfield, yeah, because
Greenfield?
I was living out there at the time. And yeah, there were some not friendly spirits there. But the thing that pops out to me the most is after we had been in the house for a while. You remember we were outside, we were sitting around the fire warming ourselves, and we started talking about something, and we started all talking about the Lord's Prayer, and we all started saying, and while we were saying that, we heard a bunch of banging coming from inside the house. And I did a quick head count. Every single one of us was standing out in the front yard. There was no physical person inside that house. But when we started reciting the Lord's Prayer, it pissed something off inside that house. And it was not one of us trying to scare with each other and mess with each other. We were, do you remember that?
I think so.
It was me and you and Chad and Kristen. And like we were all standing out front. We were talking about something. And somebody said something about the Lord's Prayer. We all just started reciting it, you know, and as we all in unison were doing it,
something inside that house. Did not like that. That always creeped me out. Because there was something there. Like that was
Supposedly they got scratched and a bunch of other stuff in there.
Yeah, the people that was running the place, they got scratched.
Got almost
pushed
thrown down the stairs.
Yeah.
What's his name? Matt. Matt from Black Moon Manor. What's up, Matt, if you're out there?
Yeah.
Give us a shout. Yeah, it was good times. I think, was Mike out there? The psychic?
No, Mike wasn't out there. He was with us at the Hannah house.
No, he was out there at one of them Black Moon Manor. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe at one of them. Maybe not the one that I went to, I don't think. Or maybe it was.
Yeah,
because we did the Black Moon a couple of times.
Childress was there one of the times. I think another time we went with another group and let them use our equipment and stuff. But one time we went out there, I think Childress went with us. He passed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good experience. Mine is probably Step Cemetery in Martinsville.
Yeah.
Like at the time,
That place is creepy as
at the
fuck.
At the time, I didn't really feel like a whole lot of the heebie-jeebies, but when we watched the footage afterwards and we saw the orbs following us through the woods and stuff, that kind of creeped me out. Because like that wasn't there. I remember being there and not seeing that, and then on the playback, it was there.
I've been there a time and there was like nobody out there, and literally Kristen's cousin pissed her pants and we all went running back to the car because we just heard a bunch of shit back in the woods back toward where the baby's grave was. And I don't know if anyone's familiar with this place, but to get to Step Cemetery, you're driving through Martinsville and you're pretty much driving through the back of the woods for about 20 minutes to get there. And then you get out of the car in the middle of the pitch dark in the middle of the woods with nothing around it.
Yeah,
Anyway, back to this place.
Oh, what about that time you guys went to Central State? That picture you took at the graveyard where you could see the guy in the Civil War garb in the smoke. You remember
I
that?
didn't really feel anything bad there, but yeah, there's definitely spirits there. That's Mount Jackson Cemetery. It's right across from Central State. They tore a bunch of that shit down now, and it's like apartments and a football field.
I wouldn't be one to live there.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
We seen that and I was like, whoa, I'm going to fucking live there.
Yeah, they've definitely they've remodeled it, and they're upscale townhomes and apartments and houses, and
Yeah, whoever's there is getting some spirits more than likely with it.
yeah, they still do a little area that they still do some tours, and they have the medical museum or whatever. They go through and show like the shock therapy stuff and all kinds of other things that they did there at the
Hell yeah.
Hey, here's a crazy story. When I was in high school, I was going to Franklin Central at the time. I had a psychology class, and we took a field trip to Central State Hospital.
I did in like 92 or something
And
like
we're
that.
walking through there, and there was like this old lady that was like butt ass naked, like wandering around, like reminded me of the lady from The Shining and stuff. And there was animals and stuff, and there was people like hurting themselves. Like it seemed like out of a crazy, like worse than One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like it was like
mental institution when it was still open.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I went there on a high school field trip when I was at yeah.
And it was crazy. Just walking down the hallway, I'm thinking, this is really fucked up. This is really fucked up that we're kids and we're around these crazy people, like literally like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
People. And there was a piece of paper taped on the wall periodically on a brick wall a piece of paper, and I thought it was a joke. It had a circle in the middle of it and said, "Bang head here." So like these crazy people would sit there and smacking their heads on brick walls in the middle. It's so fucked up. Why would you take a high school class to go see that shit?
Right.
That would never happen today. There'd be so many.
Are you guys like the bad class or something?
No,
Yeah,
it's
get a
just
punishment.
Right, we went.
to
Yeah,
see how they treat, mentally disabled people, and terribly is how they treated.
Were you
mentally
guys
disabled.
acting mentally disabled?
we may have left a couple. We may have left a couple students behind.
Yeah, the bus was less crowded on the way back. But yeah, I just always like as a kid, I was just like, this is weird. But like as an adult, it's like, why the fuck would you take a bunch of kids to a loony bin?
Yeah, I
like
think
a for
doesn't
real
sound
loony
right.
bin.
That doesn't sound right.
No,
Like
no.
everything
They
about that
closed it. They
doesn't
closed
sound
it just a
right.
few years later. You know
Yeah,
what they did with all those crazy people?
Let another
They just opened the doors.
Yeah.
there's still a lot of them running around in West Washington.
I believe it.
You see somebody just taking a shit in the middle of Washington Street downtown, you know where they used to live.
Oh, fuck. Good old Central State.
Yeah, but yeah, did the
Right.
same trip.
Yeah. Isn't that fucked up? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That you would take a child to like someplace like
Yeah,
that.
I was like a junior in high school when we went.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school in psychology class, and we went to Central State, and it's like, this is not a place where we should be. Like, I knew that at the time, but I was like, whatever, But looking back as an adult, it's like, man, that's fucked up that we went there. It really is.
Yeah,
It really is.
that's way fucked up. It's like punishment.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I saw the piece of paper and it said "bang head here," and I started laughing, thinking, "Oh, these people got a sense of humor that work here." And then I saw a guy actually with a helmet on, like just beating his head up against the wall on a piece of paper like that. It's like,
Oh, fuck.
that's how they keep these people complacent. It's just dope them up with shit and tell them to hit the head. Oh, that's so fucked up. The way they
Make sure you got your helmet on.
yeah. I mean, the way they treat people like that. I mean, those people are sick and they need help. They should be in a quote unquote hospital for that help. But this basically was like, it was a mental asylum. It was like a prison for like crazy people, and they just let them run around doing whatever.
I mean, fuck, were you guys there to read or something too?
No,
No.
we were there as a tour. We just took a tour, and then at the end of the tour, they had some dude with schizophrenia come into a room and talk to all of us. I was like, this is fun.
This is in case you wanted to pursue a career in mental health.
Oh, fuck.
We're like, I used to hear voices and want to hurt people, but I'm fine now because I take my medicine. And it's like, I'm like 17, like looking all around, like, this is weird. This is weird that I'm here.
Oh, fuck. I couldn't imagine.
Did you ever make it down to Old Triton when it was still a thing? You remember Old Triton?
No.
Down in Triton, Indiana, there was a place called Old Triton, and it was like one of those old country style schools where it was like the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school all like in one building but in different sections. Well, the legend, I don't know how true it is. What I had always heard is that a janitor in like the 50s went crazy and killed a bunch of kids there. And they condemned the school and then built a new school, New Triton, like a few miles away, and they just put up a fence around it and left it. Over time, it started becoming all dilapidated and stuff, and the legends were that people would break in there and do like animal sacrifices, child sacrifices, Satan worshipers and stuff and everything. And it got to be a thing that kids would break in there just to go see. Well, me and a bunch of my friends were all having a good time one night. We decided, oh, we should go do that because it came up. So
what
we
you do.
piled in a car, when you're 16, 17, 18 years old. What are we saying about pissing on the mic? Don't piss on the mic.
Cheers. Social.
Mike. Cheers.
Well, we went out there probably around midnight, and it was quite a haul. And it was like the Step Cemetery. You go through all these woods in the country. It's all dark and creepy. And there's this old farmer guy that used to look over the property. And he was known to like pack a shotgun, had signs, trespassers will be shot and stuff. So we were aware of this guy. So we like crawled through the drainage ditch on the opposite side of the street so we could get up there. And there was a break in the fence that one of my buddies knew about it. And you could get in there. And as we're getting in there, we're walking up in the catwalk in the top of the school. An abandoned school, been abandoned for 40, 50 years at this point. We see a light up there, like someone's walking around with a flashlight. We didn't see anybody when we was in there, but when we went in, we did see that when water mains would break, rather than repairing it, they would just seal off the room. So you'd walk past the room and you'd look in and see pencils floating by or desks just floating by. It was like really fucking creepy. You could try to go upstairs and they were just walled off. They just lead to nowhere. It was very disorienting and confusing. But the gymnasium, the ceiling had collapsed in. So like the moonlight shone like right on the center of the basketball court, and someone had painted like a pentagram and what I assume was blood on there, and they had candles and stuff. So I mean, it looked like somebody was doing rituals there, or at least wanted people to think
think
it
they were.
was. It was a really creepy place. Like after a while, like some of the girls that were with the group, they got really freaked out. Like we should go, and as we're leaving, we weren't quite as careful getting out. And next thing we hear is the farmer across the street's door open and some and shotgun blast, and like we're running to the car and stuff. Like 3:00 in the morning at this point. And it was crazy. There's shit to do in Indiana when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Ain't much else to do. So I heard about this. Let's go check it out. And they do. And sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's lame.
100 Step Cemetery. We went there.
The Step Cemetery. We did.
No, 100 Step.
Oh, 100 Step.
Yeah, that one's like very far west. We did a trip there one time and ended up in fucking Illinois. You remember that? Little John and Chastity and Cody. Yeah, we ended up in Illinois going there. And I think there's another one out that way too. Hell's Gate.
Yeah.
You guys remember Hell's Gate?
Mhm.
We had a fucking car like pretty much run up on us there when we were at Hell's
Yeah.
Gate and tried to run us out of there. That place was pretty creepy, but I think
Back in my parents' woods, there's a little family cemetery from like 100 years ago or whatever, with a bunch of headstones, and we used to camp out at the bottom of the hill underneath it.
oh shit.
Used
Always
to
the coolest.
yeah.
A little home cemetery, I guess, for lack of a better
Yeah.
word, a little private family.
It was up the top of the hill, and really, I mean, you come back to like the past, or where my parents, the back section, and there's a little 4 acres of woods. There's a creek that runs through it. There's an old iron bridge that we'd walk across the rails, carrying a couple 6-packs or whatever, and a bottle of, whatever we wanted to drink that night. Usually it was Jack or Everclear or whatever, back when you're young. And we'd go there and we'd take these people back there. When I started like in college and my freshman year, people had never left like Indianapolis, never been in the countryside.
Oh shit.
We'd go out there, we go across this bridge and walking up and down through the woods, and it feels like you're way back there. Literally, you walk across the water, like 10 feet of water, and you're back into the main lot where it's, all grass, but you feel like you're way back there. And we go there, show the cemetery, we'd have a bonfire, we'd be camping out, and you'd hear like the neighbor's cow or something moo, and these people were freaking out. What's that? And it was great. So I remember going up there, and a buddy was like trying to scare people, and he's bad boys. And all of a sudden he trips and is rolling down the hill, flashlight tumbling over. It was great. And we get people, I don't know how many times these girls will be like, we gotta go. I can't stay out here. This is too creepy. It was great. Loved it.
Hell yeah.
All goes back to scaring people.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It's fun scaring people.
It really is.
Yeah.
My first time scaring people was at Eagle Creek State Park, and they had a haunted carriage ride. This is probably when I was like 14, 15. So, of course, me and my buddies sneak a little alcohol out there with us, get a little sips on, and scare the shit out of some people. It's definitely a fun time.
My first scare was Boogie Mountain. Do you remember Boogie Mountain? It used to be on 21st and Shade.
Yeah.
It was a big water park.
Yeah.
Well, obviously their off season is the fall because their big season is during the summer.
Yeah.
They would do like a haunted house thing out there. And my brother was working. He was a teenager at the time. I think I was maybe 10, 11 years old. And he asked me if I wanted to go scare with him and stuff. And I remember going in this room and getting to pick out whatever mask I wanted to wear. And I got to pick where I wanted to be and just jump out. And I remember scaring the crap out of this one kid. And he's like, you better back up. I know karate. And he's all like trying to Daniel sign me and everything. Yeah, the big crane kick and everything. And I'm trying to scare him, but I just started busting out laughing. I thought it was just so hilarious that here I am, some 10-year-old kid in some cheesy mask, and I just boo, and he flipped the fuck out, like ready to fight.
Man.
I would have just been like, wax on, wax off.
It was so much fun. I just remember just my face hurt the next day from smiling so much under the mask.
I can see it, man. People get scared. Some people just punch first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Fight or
the
First
flight.
reaction.
Yeah, fight or flag. Yeah.
Punch. It's like everyone watching a horror movie. Just run, you dumbass, run.
Yeah. Oh, what was that noise? I think I'll go check it
I'm
out.
gonna go look at that. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. Good shit.
Yeah. Still time.
We're sitting right at an hour right now.
Sitting in an hour. Boys want to call her? I'm going to keep going.
We've covered quite a bit. I mean, we've covered slashers and some actual ghost stories of real haunts and stuff. We can
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
think it's a good first outing.
Definitely.
Maybe even break it into 2 episodes.
Right.
Because we did kind of start off with the slashers and then kind of
Then
moved into
segued.
the actual haunting type stuff, like real life haunting
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
the miracle of editing.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you all for fucking listening to us. Come back.
And until next time,
Let's
Let's
talk
talk
horror.
horror.
horror.